A Disney World hotel with luxury amenities at a more reasonable price tag? I'm listening. Hey everybody, it's Chris for AllEars TV and AllEars.net. We're working our way through Disney World's hotels to decide which hotels are the best and the worst and which ones are perfect for you. Today we're talking about Coronado Springs Resort, a luxury hotel that comes at a moderate price. So let's see what you and the cast have to say.
One thing to keep in mind with Coronado Springs is that Gran Destino is there, and that is a tower that is on Coronado Springs property. However, it is a deluxe resort, basically hiding within a moderate resort. That is going to cost you a little bit more, but it is ultimately just, it is gorgeous. I know people who this is their favorite place to stay in all of Disney World because they're not paying quite as much as the deluxe resorts where you are on the monorail or you're on the Skyliner, but you're still getting the same really nice amenities.
Disney's Coronado Springs Resort is a moderate resort, which means prices are somewhere in the middle range of Disney World hotels. The original hotel opened in 1997 with Spanish, Mexican, and Southwest American themes, and in 2019, the Salvador Dali-inspired Gran Destino Tower opened. Coronado Springs is also the first moderately priced convention hall, and it comes with quite a few dining options.
It's not always in the front of my brain when I'm thinking about Disney resorts, but I think that's me doing it a disservice because I think it's a really good option in the middle. It's very pretty. The theming is nice and classy, however, not in your face. And I will say this, Coronado Springs is quiet. It's a very quiet, chill resort, which is weird to think about in Disney World, especially because it's not a deluxe resort. And so you think, oh, convention center, it's gonna be super busy, everybody's gonna be running around. But no, it's chill. Weirdly too quiet, and you're like, where is everybody?
Here's the thing about Coronado Springs. There are parts of it that I adore, and then there are parts of it that aren't like totally my favorite. The one that I really love outside of food and dining, some of the options, is the tower. Like the Gran Destino Tower is genuinely so beautiful. I think the craftsmanship that is put into it and just the care, I mean, even the smell of it. My fiance has literally bought a candle that smells like it because it smells so good and it just feels nice. And I mean, there's even a huge portrait of Walt at one point in the tower. It's just beautiful. The rooms are incredibly nice. And I know a lot of people who say when they come to Disney World now, they only stay at Gran Destino Tower. And they don't say Coronado Springs. They say the tower because it is important. Because if you stay in the conference side of Coronado Springs, it is not the best. I have personally stayed there. The rooms are nice, they're fine, but it does feel very much like a conference center, like just a really big hotel. And I know it is that. But you know what I mean, if you've been on a Disney vacation, it's just not the same. But I still love Coronado as a whole.
This place is big. 1,917 rooms and suites in 3 different villages, plus the 15-story Gran Destino Tower with another 545 rooms. So whether you're headed to the lobby, the tower, the bus stop, you've got some walking to do.
This place is huge. They have over 2,000 rooms. That's a lot of rooms. With the size of this resort and how many rooms there are, and if you're concerned about mobility issues or just have any reason that you need to be close to the lobby, you can call Disney ahead of time and request a room that is closer to the lobby.
You know what's crazy? Funny enough, Coronado has become my new late night hangout spot, which is crazy. I know that's so weird to say out loud, but right now I'm usually getting off of work around 10:30, and there is a place that has the best vibes and really great food, serves food until midnight, which you're not gonna find at a lot of different places. Great drinks. It's 3 Bridges Bar and Grill at the Coronado Springs. It's literally in the middle of a lake, and it's connected by these 3 bridges. Synergy, baby. I cannot recommend it enough. Literally, my friends and I go there. We will go there after work. You can find us there more times than I would care to admit.
One of the very big cons about this resort is depending on where your room is, you're going to be walking a long way. And I know that because I experienced it. I kid you not. I was in the very, very last building, the farthest from the resort lobby. It felt like half an hour to walk from my room to the lobby, to the bus stop, you know? The long walk with my suitcase going over like the bridge, and it was so noisy, and it was like
Another thing about Coronado that isn't necessarily my favorite when I go as a resort guest, and I've stayed at Coronado several times, is it's huge. It is humongous. I mean, like it's one of those resorts that has multiple bus stops to drop you off as close as they can to your room. I mean, it's that big. And so my issue is, you know, at the end of the night, you're really tired, you are literally dragging yourself out of Magic Kingdom. Your feet hurt, blisters, your children are crying, and you know what? You might even be hungry. Who knows? The last thing you want to do is have to take a 25-minute bus ride just around your resort, not even from Magic Kingdom to wherever. Literally just around the resort, trying to get to your place. And if you get dropped off at the wrong place or you're not paying attention, you have the biggest walk back, and it's very time consuming. On the plus side, if you're a runner, it has a beautiful trail. It's so nice to run around. But if you're not a runner,
there is no shortage of dining options available at Coronado Springs, including sit-down restaurants like Rick's Sports Bar and Grill, Three Bridges Bar and Grill, and Toledo Tapas Steak and Seafood. There are also more casual spots like Laguna Bar, Cafe Rick's, Maya Grill, Siesta's Cantina Poolside, Barcelona Lounge, and the Dahlia Lounge.
I am a huge fan of tapas, so Toledo is my personal pick for Coronado Springs. I think that it is a really underrated restaurant, and I think it's just kind of a fun one to go to if you want to go with a group and try a bunch of little different things.
You have Toledo, which is tapas, steak, and seafood, included in the name, also included on the menu. It is a very fun spot. It's at the top of the tower. It's very classy. It's great for a date night. It's great for just coming back to the parks and you need to chill, you need a drink, you need to sit at the bar. You can see so much of Disney World from there. You can see Hollywood Studios, you can see Animal Kingdom, you can watch fireworks if you're there at the right time. Great atmosphere, great experience all around. So even if you're not staying at Coronado Springs, I would tell you to resort hop and go hang out at Toledo for sure.
The Coronado Springs Resort is kind of a great place for food. You have a bunch of different options. You want to go to a lounge? Go to a lounge. You want to go to a bar instead of a lounge? You can go to the bar. You want to have food with a water view? You can have that. You want to eat by the pool? You can eat by the pool. You need to go to a food court? They have a food court. They have table service. They have breakfast options. They have everything.
One of the most memorable features of Coronado Springs is the 50-foot Mayan ruins pool with a 123-foot-long water slide. Kids can also play at the dig site, an archaeological-themed playground, or you can opt to hang out in the largest hot tub in Disney World.
I don't know what it is, but about the Disney pools in general, or at least at some of the nicer resorts, but just the water is so nice. Okay, but regardless, not just the water. They have this really cool temple thing. It reminds me of when you're going on Grand Fiesta Tour at Epcot, and there's that giant temple that you see in the back. It's got those kind of vibes, you know what I mean? It's just really interesting. And cascading down from like the top of this temple is like, it becomes this whole waterfall. Whatever you do not climb up the steps. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't climb up the steps. Okay? Love you. Mean it.
have you seen the pool? Have you seen the pool? If you're not somebody who's impressed with pools, this is not a section for you. But if you are, like me, and you love to go to the pool, and you like to go swimming, this is the perfect pool. There's like a 50-foot Mayan ruined temple, and then there's like a 123-foot long slide, and it's just really neat. And I have seen so many families have just the best time there. I have had a fun time there. And I think it's one of those simple things that Disney has that just makes it a lot of fun. Like, it's not just pool, it's a Mayan temple with a huge water slide.
Transportation options are limited to just buses, and with the central location of Coronado Springs, transportation can take a while. Also, even just getting out of the resort can take a long time due to the internal bus loop.
One thing to keep in mind with Coronado is, as it is a moderate resort, it is a bigger resort, and so you are going to have a lot of internal bus stops. That means that even if you get onto a bus to go somewhere, you're going to have several more stops along the way within the resort before you head out to the park.
We love a good bus. However, it's not my favorite mode of transportation. It's not the most fun mode of transportation. And sometimes it can take a long time. And at Coronado, you could run into that. Maybe, maybe not. It's kind of luck of the draw. It could just take you a long time to find a bus stop, wherever it is. And it might take you a while to walk there.
Okay, so what do All Ears readers think? Reader Future Imagineer 2008 said, "It feels like a deluxe resort at a moderate price." And ARD 62191 called the Grand Destino Tower an unexpected surprise, explaining that they could watch Tower of Terror change colors throughout the night. And Amber Stout said, "We love all the food options, pool, decor, and it smells amazing in the lobby."
I do know that AJ from Disney Food Blog loves Grand Destino Tower and will talk your ear off about it if given the chance, which we have had that conversation before. So lots of people love this resort for a great reason. I think, honestly, Grand Destino Tower specifically would be a great spot for a honeymoon. If someone, like if you're having a Disney vacation, Disney honeymoon, and you want to feel a little bougie, but you just got married, so you need to save money, just spend a whole bunch of money on a wedding, Grand Destino Tower, moderate price, but it's going to feel like a deluxe resort.
My big thing about it is that it is pretty large. I remember anytime I go there, because I've had to sing at the Coronado a couple times in the convention center, and everything is just so far spread out, right? So it takes forever to get anywhere. And trust me, there are larger resorts that it takes longer to get to, you know what I mean? It takes super long to get from point A to point B, but looking at it from like the outside perspective, you're like, oh, this is like, it goes up, you know what I mean? Like everything should be in this central location, it's pretty tall, everything goes up. No, it also goes wide and back. So that could be a little tricky to navigate. It's pretty big.
I'm a fancy girl. I love fancy girl things. I do not have fancy girl things budget though. I love this concept of moderate resorts that have a deluxe feel or have deluxe type amenities. And Coronado Springs is one of those resorts that falls into that category. It technically is a moderate resort, but because of the space that you get, the different dining options, all of the amenities, and just the theming of the hotel makes it feel like a deluxe resort.
On the flip side, an anonymous reader called Coronado Springs probably the least Disney resort on the grounds. And Lizard1515 said everything at the hotel is super spread out, and added that they had a bit of trouble getting buses at times.
You may get really excited seeing that you are close to a bus stop at Coronado Springs. That really does not mean anything. Because of all of the internal bus stops, even if you're really close to the bus, you will likely still be stopping at several more locations before you head out to the park. So just make sure that you keep a little extra time in your schedule.
If you're looking for something a little more elevated, literally the Dahlia Lounge, which is I call it the rooftop bar. Really, it's not really on the roof, but it's all the way up there, really. And there's a really interesting backstory behind Dahlia Lounge, which I don't know if I have enough time to do that, but we should do a whole thing about the Dahlia Lounge. That's what I'm putting in my vote. We should do a thing about the Dahlia Lounge, because there's a whole interesting, because there's this cartoon playing, and there's like this interesting backstory between Walt Disney. Okay. It's a long thing. But my favorite part about the Dahlia Lounge is that you can physically go out to the to this really, really nice balcony, like where you can eat if you want to, if it's not too windy, but eat and drink out there. But this really nice balcony area, and you can see 3 out of the 4 theme parks. And I've even seen 2 fireworks shows going up at the exact same time.
Coronado Springs pros and cons. The pros, you get luxury at a moderate price with tons of dining options and a great resort pool option. The cons, because it's a huge hotel with spread out buildings, transportation can take a long time, and it's not the best hotel for kids. Still not sure? Let's get some final thoughts.
Transportation might take a little bit longer than you're normally used to. If you like having a resort with multiple transportation options, this isn't it. But the Grand Destino Tower is very, very pretty. So you gotta pick and choose.
I love the theming and the atmosphere of Coronado Springs. I'm huge on just atmosphere and vibe when it comes to a resort, because this is where I'm going to be spending my entire trip. Granted, you do spend a lot of the time in the parks, but this is where I'm going to be waking up in the morning. It's where I'm going to be falling asleep. I might be having dinner here, might be having breakfast here. I always like to have at least one resort day as well. So I like my resort to have more of a relaxing vacation feel. And this one ticks all the boxes.
Overall, I think it's hard to talk about Coronado Springs without talking about how great Grand Destino Tower is. Coronado Springs is a nice, moderate resort. Grand Destino Tower is a gorgeous deluxe hotel that is located there. So ultimately, I think that there are some real upsides to Coronado Springs as a whole, but also especially Grand Destino. That being said, one of the major downsides that a lot of people will be naming is that the transportation is lackluster. You only get the bus. There's going to be tons of internal bus stops. It's going to take you longer to get to the parks than it would if you were staying at another hotel.
They've got some great restaurants and bars and lounges. The views are impeccable. The vibes of that pool. I mean, literally, it's becoming one of my favorites. And I'm so sorry to the formerly favorite monorail resort loop situation. I mean, I still love you guys, but Coronado's is just trailing right behind. Says, I'm coming for you. All I got to do is add a Manhattan for Sage Starkey, and we might come in first.
I am somebody who loves Three Bridges. One of my favorite places in Disney World. If nothing else, it's not necessarily even for the food. It is just truly the vibe and how I feel when I'm there having sangria with the wind breeze blowing in my hair. I love it. Love it, okay? A nice romantic weekend with your partner, or if you want to go on like an adult girls trip or guys trip or whatever, this is a super fun place to do it. You can drink and eat and have a really good time here and not break the bank and not feel like you're at a kid resort. So I think this is a fun one. I really love it. 10 out of 10 for Coronado.
If your Disney World budget is limited but you still want luxury, Coronado Springs may fit the bill with all the amenities, especially if you stay at the Grand Destino Tower. But if you want a hotel that's restricted to a single building with a location in closer proximity to the parks, you can either increase your budget for a deluxe hotel or decrease it and get to a value hotel. Of course, keep in mind that what's good for one person might not be good for you, but that's why we do the research and review to help you make the best decision for you. Want more opinions? Do a search on AllEars.net for Coronado Springs, and you may be blown away by the info you're going to find on that site. For the rest of you, have you been there? How would you vote? Let us know in the comments. This is Chris for AllEars.net. See you next time.